Greetings, travelers! Welcome back to Tales from the Enchanted Forest with your hosts, Fox and Sparrow.
Hello, travelers! Happy Easter to those who celebrate, and for everyone else, I hope your spring is going well and maybe you got to enjoy a long weekend. I really enjoyed this time of year. Easter is one of my favorite holidays, and also I just love the springtime. It just feels like nice. It's getting warmer. The grass is greener, and it feels more alive.
Oh my god, just the other day I was looking out the window and I was like, when did it get so green all of a sudden? Because I feel like around this time, like the end of April, is usually when everything just starts to turn green all at once, because it goes slowly from like the end of March to mid-April. Things are slowly budding, but I feel like end of April is right when you can tell that it's spring. Like everything is in full bloom, much to, my dismay because of all of the allergies. But otherwise, it's so pretty to look at from inside.
Yes, I'm still an indoorsy person, so when I say I like looking at it, it's like, yes, I'm looking at it from my window afar going, that's so nice. It's a nice background for when I am playing games inside.
Well, I mean, here they do take Easter quite seriously in Europe. We do have all of the Easter festivals, the bunnies everywhere, people dressed up in like the traditional clothing, and they go to the Easter festivals, and there's lots of children running around. But I was still in the mood to ski this weekend, and then I realized that they'd closed the lifts for everything but hiking, and I was like, oh, guess they really don't want people to go up there with skis.
I mean, I don't know how successful you'll be. At least here, I don't think you'd be successful. I don't know how cold it is there.
No, it's definitely not skiing weather anymore. I mean, they've closed the ski season is over now, so it ended yesterday. So that's completely gone. But I mean, at least the best part of the end of the season is I got to put away all of the winter stuff. Like I put away my husband and I just had this chat because I was like, let's get all of the ski stuff, the ski socks, let's get the salopettes, let's get the ski boots because we keep them upstairs. I was like, let's take everything downstairs because it's the end of the season. We don't need them. And he was like, but why?
What do you mean?
But we have this argument but we have this discussion every season because being in Canada, I feel like I have to get rid of my winter stuff and put it like away.
Yeah. Like, especially the big winter heavy jackets and stuff and, like, any equipment that you would only use in the wintertime. You got to put that away. Like, I understand keeping some winter clothes around on those random days where it gets, like, cold in the, like, later in the year. But, like, no. Those big outdoor stuff, definitely put it away.
They don't do that. They don't do that in the UK.
Why do we always have so many opinions on the weather? It is kind of... It surprises me every time. Like, this is such an adult and it's such a Canadian thing of being like, we need to discuss the weather intensely.
Well, the problem is that we live in different countries. So I feel like if we lived in the same country, this would be this would not be a topic that we would talk about. But because we're in different countries, I feel like weather is always a topic because everything is so seasonal. And so we're always like, oh, it's cold, and I'm going to go do this. Or, oh, it's so hot, and I'm going to go do this. And so we're just a weather podcast now.
Kind of. Now, I know we haven't done this section for a while, but I want to do a really quick snippet of it. Fox, ask me what I currently am into.
So besides the weather, is there anything else that you're currently into?
Oh my gosh, Fox, thank you so much for asking. I am. I'm into the new season of Game Changer, and I absolutely adore it.
Same. I finally joined the bandwagon.
Yes, I finally sat Fox down over the holidays. I saw her in IRL, and I said, Fox, our friendship cannot continue unless you get to enjoy some of Dropout TV. I know I have failed at getting you onto Dimension 20, but you absolutely must get onto Game Changer. And thankfully, our friendship still stands because she got into it.
Well, the problem, I don't know why I was so resistant for so long. I just think there's something about American improv that I was just like, oh no, here we go again. Because it took me a little bit to get into British comedians. I wasn't like, I know a lot of people watch British comedians and are like, wow, Taskmaster and like 9 out of 10 Cats and all this stuff. And like they get really into it. Like my husband's family is very into stuff like that. So it took me a little bit to get into it. And then opening up a new genre of comedians from America. I was like, I don't know if it's going to be the same kind of humor. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if it's going to be, maybe cringy, or I don't know. But then we actually watched it and I'm like, oh, this is funny.
Just straight funny, right?
Yeah, and I'm like,
There's not a lot of cringe.
Exactly. This is even better. Okay, I'm not gonna talk badly about the British ones, but the American one, they do have a different type of humor, and I think I align more with the American humor than the British humor at times. So it was really nice to have like a new genre of comedians open up to me, and I love Vic, I love Brennan.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna have to take that step into Brennan's D&D at some point because I love Brennan so much. I love his monologues. Sam is a fantastic host.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So good.
He has such a good mix. He reminds me of Greg a lot from Taskmaster. Like it's a very good mix of diabolical and very genuinely kind. So you're like, does he hate me or not?
Yeah.
Because the things he's doing are very hateful and targeted and made to humiliate me. But he says it in such a funny way that I'm like, oh, I want to be best friends with this man at any given time.
Yeah, but you can also tell by the way the contestants also get real genuine with him at times that they do really care about him.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that real quick because it's been a while since we talked about 1 and 2, and I'm very much into the new season of Game Changer. So if you haven't already, highly recommend checking it out. It's a game show that changes every show. What's not to love about that premise? But moving right along, last Easter, I found this lovely little Brazilian tale from the book Fairy Tales from Brazil, How and Why Tales from Brazilian Folklore by folklorist Elsie Spicer Eells. The story was about how the rabbit lost its tail, which I thought was very fitting for the Easter season. So this year, I decided to return to the same book to see what other fun annual tales I could find, and I was not disappointed. So sit back and relax as we tell a tale that answers the age-old question, how the tiger got its stripes. Long, long ago, before the tiger had its stripes and before the rabbit had lost its tail, there was a tiger who had a farm. However, very much like at the start of all farming sim games, the fields were overgrown with underbush and would require a great deal of work to remove. But instead of clearing it himself, he decided to outsource the work to someone else. So the tiger called all the beasts together and told them that he was looking for a workman to clear his fields of the underbush. In exchange for this hard work, he would offer the worker an ox as payment. The monkey decided to take the tiger up on his offer. But after the first day of work, the tiger dismissed him because the monkey was not consistent enough to create meaningful results. Next, he hired the goat because he knew the goat was a steady worker. And while the goat was consistent, he did not have the brains to work effectively. Each day, the goat would work in random different places without any rhyme or reason, so the tiger dismissed the goat as well. The next animal to try the work was the armadillo, which was quite strong and a good worker. However, he had a big appetite and could not pass by an ant without stopping to eat it. And since the farm was full of ants, he would be eating all day, every day. So the tiger dismissed him too. The tiger was now concerned as he had only one applicant left, but he did not believe that they would be strong enough to handle such a task. Alas, as no other beast was willing to take on such work, the tiger had no choice but to accept the rabbit's application. Now, to the tiger's surprise, the rabbit cleared a large portion of the underbush on the first day and continued to be a diligent worker the following days. The tiger felt very lucky to finally have a good worker. But as time went on, the tiger got bored of watching the rabbit work, so he went for a hunting trip and left his son to watch the rabbit work. Outsourcing your job to your child, always a good sign.
Well, he should have asked his son to do the work in the first place.
That's right. He's outsourcing the job that he should have done himself to somebody else, and then he's outsourcing the overseeing job that he created for himself to somebody else.
Actually, it's nepotism, isn't it? He's like, oh, my child will be the generational wealth, and you can work on my farm.
It's true. During this time, the rabbit talked to the son about many things, including what the ox that the tiger was going to use as payment looked like. and where it was going to be kept. With these details, the rabbit planned to take the ox and leave before the job was done. But the tiger returned sooner than the rabbit thought. And when the tiger returned, he noticed that the rabbit hadn't been working as hard when he had been away. So the tiger stayed and watched the rabbit until the whole farm was cleared. As promised, the tiger gave the rabbit the ox as payment for all the hard work. But he instructed the rabbit that ox must be killed in a place where there are neither flies nor mosquitoes. I love when your reward comes with conditions that you did not know about until the very end.
Terms and conditions. You must always read them. Obviously the rabbit didn't read the fine print.
Yeah, for sure. Too bad for him. But the rabbit, not questioning this weird condition, hopped off with the ox in tow. He traveled far, stopping at various locations to see if there would be flies or mosquitoes about. Eventually, he came to a high place with a strong breeze that he reasoned would meet the tiger's conditions. With that, he finally killed the ox and prepared it to be eaten. So I guess back then when rabbits had tails, which, just for context for people who didn't hear the first story, the rabbit's tail looks like a cat's tail because the cat is ultimately the one who swipes it from the rabbit. But I guess at this time rabbits ate meat because as far as I know right now they are omnivores or not omnivores, herbivores. They're herbivores, so they would not be eating meat.
The long lost carnivorous rabbit ancestor.
That honestly sounds terrifying.
Mm-hmm. It's like sloths. They might look, normal now, but have you ever seen like a ground sloth? Terrifying.
No.
Stuff of nightmares. They're
oh my
massive.
Goodness.
They have like I think a couple like museums have like a stuffed, not a stuffed one, but like a replica of one of like how big it would be, and like if that thing was coming towards you, I think I would just die on the spot from just shock. I'd have a heart attack. They're so and I think sloths
but it would be
are already
slow, right?
No, they weren't slow. They were massive. They were massive and they were fast because they were ground like they just walked on the ground like normal. Because now they walk really slow. But like I'll send you a picture of one. But terrifying.
Please do. And maybe you can like add a post to the website or
and
something.
This, for anyone who actually listened to the podcast and isn't just looking at the website, is what a ground sloth looks like.
That's right. We'll reward you audio listeners. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoy our random fun tidbits, but I am fascinated by this idea of a very scary sloth. I wouldn't want to meet that in a dark alley.
No, I mean, I wouldn't want to meet a sloth in a dark alley because I think sloths themselves are just terrifying.
I have a hard time being afraid of them when I think of the Zootopia sloth. And it's just, so funny.
I found him scary as well.
Oh, really?
I just think there are certain animals that I do not vibe with. Orcas.
That's fair. Orcas are
me.
mean.
I have like a really big fear of like open blue water. So I can't even watch documentaries properly when there is like, it's just like the open ocean and it's like grainy and then you see something coming towards you, because I've had so many nightmares of just being in the water and then I'm just like,
man.
There's nothing around you and it's silent because you're underwater, and then all of a sudden you see like a shape. Ugh.
Donna.
Can't do it.
Donna.
Finding Nemo, terrifying.
Oh my gosh, I love Finding Nemo.
Well, in the normal spots, but anytime there's like blue open water, Free Willy, as well, like just any of things where like there's open water, I can't do it.
I mean, fair. That feels scary. Like I understand that. And I mean, there's some animals too I don't vibe with, but it's mostly bugs are the ones I can't vibe with. It's insects.
Yeah.
I'm like, keep away from me. And that's worse because they're everywhere. Like the requirement of keeping flies and mosquitoes away from the ox makes like sense to me. I'm like, yeah, that should be common sense. Like, don't have any bugs near me at all times. But I still don't understand why the tiger specifically instructed it.
Maybe he also hates bugs.
You know what? then fair. I get this tiger a lot more now. Just as the rabbit was about to take the first bite of the ox, the tiger approached. He told the rabbit that he was so hungry, and since they were such good friends, he asked if he could have a piece of the ox. The rabbit sighed and gave the tiger a single piece of ox. The tiger quickly consumed the piece of meat with a twinkle in his eye. Licking his lips, he asked if that was all the rabbit was going to give him. The imposing, savage tiger loomed over the rabbit, and he dared not refuse the hungry tiger. So the tiger ate until the whole ox was devoured, leaving behind one tiny morsel of meat for the rabbit. The tiger went on his way, not noticing the rabbit shaking with rage at what he had done. Some days later, the rabbit went near the tiger's house and began cutting big pieces of wood. Hearing all the noise, the tiger came out to see what was happening. The rabbit explained he was getting wood to create a stockade around himself. He looked quite puzzled at the tiger and asked if he had heard about the orders. Confused and quickly becoming concerned, the tiger said he hadn't heard any orders coming to him. The rabbit told him that was very strange indeed, for every beast was ordered to protect themselves by building individual stockades for themselves. Every beast was doing this, the rabbit explained. Full panic began to set in for the tiger. He didn't know how to build a stockade, but clearly he needed one right away. He begged the rabbit for his help building his own stockade. After all, they had such a good, long friendship that he hoped he could count on the rabbit for this important favor. The rabbit was hesitant. He did not want to risk his own safety by delaying the building of his stockade, but after much begging from the tiger, the rabbit finally agreed. The rabbit cut down many long, sharp wooden sticks and stuck them in the ground all around the tiger. He then fastened and secured more strong sticks to the fortification until the tiger was completely locked in the stockade. With the structure complete, the rabbit hopped away, leaving the tiger all alone. The tiger waited and waited and waited for something to happen. Something to come along and prove why this fortification was necessary in the first place. But of course, nothing happened. The tiger became very hungry and thirsty as he waited. Eventually, the monkey came by, and the tiger asked if the danger had passed. Confused and unsure of what the tiger was talking about, the monkey said yes. Relieved knowing the danger had passed, he asked the monkey to help him out. But the monkey refused, saying that the one who helped him get in there should be the one to help him get out.
Fair.
It's funny because I feel like it's worded as like monkey spite, like, how dare you let me go?
Mm-hmm.
I am now not helping you. But also, you weren't a great worker. Like, I also feel like the tiger was not completely out of line to let you go. And it's like, maybe that's just me. I'm like, okay. Feels like a weird comeuppance, but good for you.
Stand your ground.
Yeah. Soon, the goat passed by, and the tiger asked him if the danger had passed and if he could help him out of the stockade. Just like the monkey, the goat did not know what the tiger was talking about, but told him that the danger had passed, and that he should ask the one who put him in there to get him out. So the goat has now got his comeuppance as well. Next, the armadillo passed by the tiger. Sure enough, like the monkey and the goat before him, the armadillo told the tiger the danger had passed, even though he was not aware of what he was talking about, and also told him to talk to the person who got him into the stockade to get him out. Realizing that none of his neighbors would help him out, the tiger began jumping and trying to break through the barriers on his own. He thrashed and jumped with all his might, but the fortifications would not budge. He rested for a bit, thinking of all the wonderful things he would never see again if he remained trapped in this place. Though he thinks a lot about like the sun, the food, and like the water and like the nice environment, but also like, dude, you have a son, and that doesn't really come up at all. That's one of the things you're gonna miss. So Just gonna point that out there. That the son has been completely forgotten by the story.
Maybe he doesn't care.
Ooh, he's just there to inherit the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Digging deep, he tried once more, and this time he was able to jump out, but not without deeply cutting himself on his sides from the sharp sticks of the stockade. And ever since, tigers have had stripes along the sides of their bodies. And that is our tale, and how the tiger got his stripes is because of the rabbit tricking the tiger into getting stuck in the stockade.
I mean, deserved.
Yeah.
And all because he didn't want to do his due diligence and clean out his own farm.
Like 100%. And then, well, it's fine to outsource it, but then he didn't want to pay the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to eat the payment.
So this is a
And
story about the
cheat it.
dangers of capitalism.
Yep. Guys, capitalism, it bad. That's really what this is about. And that's what I'm sure what the original storytellers were also about.
Well, I guess the moral is don't exploit other people.
Yeah,
Because the
for
time might
sure.
come when you might need help and no one's willing to help you out.
Yeah. And then he always talks about like the good long friendship he has with the rabbit whenever he like approaches him. But the first time the rabbit comes up, he's like, "Ugh, this rabbit is so weak and small. Like there's no way it can do the work." And then after that, like once it does the work, it's like, "Oh my gosh, we're such good friends. We hang out all the time when you do work for me." So fun fact for those who are actually kind of interested why tigers have stripes.
Mm-hmm.
Their stripes are actually used for camouflage. The stripe pattern breaks up the tiger's shape and size so it can better blend in with its surroundings. Scientists call this kind of pattern disruptive coloration. Also, something to keep in mind, because when you look at a tiger, it's like bright red and you see it hunting in like a green jungle. It's like, that's easy to spot. But their prey, primarily deer, can't see the red color spectrum. So while it's obvious for us, the prey is actually just seeing green on green.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually really good camouflage, and those stripes, like kind of help hide its like frame even better. I'm also now terrified at the thought, like, that is so much scarier to be like an animal now if you can't see the full color spectrum. Like, that camouflage is actually quite terrifying to think about.
Yeah, I remember this was part of, I can't remember, but there was a series on Disney where they were talking about the different animals. I mean, there's tons of documentaries on Disney. But I do remember at one point they were talking about tigers and they were showing like what it actually looked like from the deer's perspective. And I could not find the tiger
Yikes.
because it's all you could see. Because once they actually did zoom in, you could then tell, oh, there were like the stripes. But then when they was from a distance, I really couldn't tell. And then they have that thing where like their patterns are all different, and they have the ones that look like false eyes. So tigers are really cool at camouflaging.
Tigers are just such cool creatures, like at every like stage. Like the way they can also swim between islands and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're just such cool animals. And also at the end of the day, they're just giant cats, and I want to hug one. I know it would eat me, but I also just want like to play with a big giant cat.
I mean, leopards are always going to be my favorite, but tigers are up there. I think tigers are cooler than lions, to be honest. I think lions are a bit overrated.
Oh, absolutely. Tigers are way cooler than lions. Lions just have that distinctive mane, but like the male lions are also just like don't do anything. It's just the females that hunt. I think tigers are the coolest in my opinion.
I'm still like I feel like on a tier list, I think leopards are still my favorite. They're just so
Leopards
sleek.
are very dope, but I like the little bit of poofiness to an animal, like just a little bit of a longer fur, and I feel like tigers have that. It's just also the distinct pattern is just so pretty to me.
Yeah, I think the
Honestly.
stripes, because I feel like the leopards, the spots are quite
Mhm.
cool. But I feel like when you are comparing them, I think tigers are they look more cuddly. Because leopards are often
Yes.
very, very sleek and they look very like lithe. But tigers are often like the ones that have that they look just nice and cuddly and big.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I wanted to hug one, I'd hug a tiger. Death either way, but you know.
All right. I definitely don't want that. An ideal scenario, I'm just Princess Jasmine and I just have a pet tiger who's also my best friend. That's really what I want.
Yes, and one who's very, very, very judgmental. Because Raja was so judgmental.
Oh my goodness. I loved her. Ugh. Yeah, to be clear, that's actually what I want. I don't want to die to a tiger.
So like I want to be a Disney princess. I don't want to be a regular person hugging a tiger. All right, travelers, if you do want to hear more from us and find out what we're up to, you can always join us on any of our social media, including Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok, or Mastodon, at From Enchanted, or from the podcast name at Tales from Enchanted Forest. However, if you are old school like Sparrow, you can email us at talesfromenchantedforest@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your comments, questions, and suggestions. And as always, if you want to see the show notes or summaries, please check out our website, www.talesfromenchantedforest.com.
And remember, there's always a place for you in the Enchanted Forest.